Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another wonderful episode of the ADHD Gamer Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Mike McMahon, and as always, I am joined by Mr. Jonathan Franklin.
What's up, ADHD gamers?
And I'm joined by Mr. Adam Hammonds, Adam the intern himself.
How's it going, guys?
It's going pretty well, gentlemen. We just literally got done filming episode 36. We are now filming episode 37 because next weekend is my birthday, so I am going to be chilling, hanging out, possibly too drunk to even talk. So this week, guys, we are releasing this for you, obviously, next week. Today is February 29th. We're releasing this on March the 7th. This is our retro episode about the PlayStation 1. We're gonna predominantly do I don't even know why I chose that wording. We're going to do these types of shows for weeks that we are not here, just for you guys to listen to and kind of gives you a background of us too, with some of the PlayStation 1 stuff that or the console that we talk about, some of the stuff we like. So just some housekeeping for you guys real quick. For audio podcast services, you can find us everywhere: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, things of that nature. And then you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at ADHD Gamer Podcast. And this week, I got something new. This week, guys, we have a sponsorship. We are sponsored by us. We are sponsored by the ADHD Gamer, guys. Go check out all of our podcasts.
Like, that's some new shit to me.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw it in there. Go check. We don't have any sponsorships, obviously, but we are sponsored by us. Go check out all of our podcasts. Go check out the Podalorian. Go check out, which is the Mandalorian spoiler cast. Go check out this podcast, obviously, ADHD Gamer Podcast, and then check out Tunerama. There is a new episode up now. Jonathan, I forgot to text you. There is a new episode up now with the one I did with Jonathan. So the first episode was with Mr. Adam Hammonds here. We talked about rocket power. The next episode, which is episode 2, I talked with Jonathan. We did this yesterday. We talked about the real Ghostbusters. So go check that out, guys, and see how it works out, and see if you like it, and let me know what you want us to talk about on that show.
Remind me when those things pop up, and send me a message so I can put them up, because apparently we can put them on our website. So we're going to start doing that too, so everybody can see that visits our website.
Oh, yeah, and you can check out and visit our website, adhdgamer.com. I keep on forgetting we have that. We need to add that in the housekeeping.
I know.
So, yeah, that's another thing. So, guys, this week we're going to talk a little bit about PS1. I have no show notes. I have no nothing, so we're going to literally pull this out of our ass. So what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about PS1 and where you guys grew up on it. So PS1, if I'm going to be honest with you, I grew up on NES, SNES, Sega, Genesis, all that stuff. But if I'm going to actually talk to you about a console I played profusely, and I played probably more than any of those, was my PS1. I played my PS1.
I would agree with that.
I played my PS1 more than any of those, and that's probably where my gaming addictions, I don't want to say addiction because I hate that word, but the gaming craze started was with my PS1. How are you guys with that?
Mine started with N64. I didn't have PS1, but my friend did, and we went over there all the time to go play it. So, and we went back and forth to each other's houses, like, N64, let's go play PS1 today. Let's go play Tony Hawk. Let's go do this.
Yeah.
That's what we do. So
it's pretty cool.
Yep.
That sounds.
I remember getting the N64 for Christmas and having a lot of fun with that, but it wasn't until the PlayStation that I started to get into gaming.
What game do you think?
I remember
really
getting
the
Crash.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember getting the PlayStation 1, the portable console, the smaller one with the screen, for my birthday, and that was just the coolest thing ever.
So just a little thing here. The original PlayStation released in Japan on December 3rd, 1994. Released in North America on September 9th, 1995. Released in Europe on September 29th, 1995, and released in Australia on November 15th, 1995. And the one Adam was just telling you about, which is the smaller console, which is the PS1, which is PS, and it's spelled ONE, which is all white console. I actually have that one back here. Was released in Japan on July 7th, 2000, September 19th, 2000 in North America, and September 29th, 2000 in Europe, just to give you a little bit. Had a lifespan from 1994 to 2006, which is crazy, man. It's crazy to think that console was out for over 12 years, or they were still making games for that console for 12 years.
Yeah.
The last licensed game in North America was FIFA 2005.
That's crazy to see that kind of stuff. And I mean, it's crazy to listen to it because I mean, I just recently got a PS Classic from Adam, and I've been doing some things to it, and obviously you can put like NFL Game Day 2005 and things like that on there. And it's crazy to see that it went up to that far. Just to give you a little bit more info, the introductory price that you could get this at was 39,800 yen in Japan and $299 in the US.
There's actually a really funny story about that. Sega at their E3 1995 went on to tell everybody that their Sega Saturn was in store now for $399.
Mm-hmm.
So Steve Race, a Sony executive, came on stage and he just said $299.
Yep, that's it. That's it. That's all he said was $299. And then Sega dropped the price of the Saturn to $299 after that because they were getting killed. The Saturn was I hate saying this way because people think the Dreamcast is. To me, Saturn was the start of the death of Sega with console market.
That failed epically.
It did.
And I had one.
I didn't. I only had a Genesis. But my Genesis was. I love my Genesis, man. That was one of my favorite consoles. I was a Sega kid growing up. I wasn't a Nintendo kid. I was a Sega kid. But I had Nintendos, but I loved my Sega more. It was really weird. So just to give you a little bit more information, I'm gonna read. So starting this, once again, I want you guys to remember we're pulling this out of our ass. So this is literally something we're not ready for. So it was discontinued March 23rd, 2006. I sold 102.49 million units. The media it used was, of course, CD-ROM. Had a R3000 at 33.8688 megahertz CPU in it, 2 megabytes of RAM, 1 megabytes of video RAM. Had a memory card for storage, obviously. They used to be 1 megabyte, I believe, if I remember right. Had a 16-bit sound. And of course, you had the regular dual. They had the regular PlayStation controller, but then they also used the dual analog and the DualShock controller. Was where that started. Best-selling game on the original PlayStation was Gran Turismo at 10.85 million units.
That's insane.
And then, of course, the successors, the PlayStation 2, which we'll do another one of these on there, which about that one day. But it's crazy to think this, guys, about like how much this is sold. So if you look at every PlayStation console, it's sold close to 100 million units. Like PlayStation 3 sold like 80 something million units. Of course, PlayStation 2 is the best selling console of all time at 150 million units. 108.9 or 109 million units is what the PlayStation 4 is at, and then PlayStation 3 is at like 80 something million, 83 million, 88 million, one of them two. I think it's 83 million. And it's crazy to think that, man, that they've sold that many consoles. That's why everybody always says PlayStation is top, because they are. Like, they never had a console that did not sell, you know?
Yeah, it's funny. The Gran Turismo, it took them 5 years to make, and there were only 7 people on that team.
Jesus. And now you look at something like Gran Turismo, I believe 5 was out, and that was a team of like a couple hundred to make that. It's crazy, man. So
I was playing Gran Turismo today.
Me too.
I loaded that up.
I was playing Gran Turismo 2 the other day, actually, because 2 I believe was better than 1 to me. But yeah, man, it's crazy to think about how
Gran Turismo like started off my love of racing games.
Yeah, I agree with that. I can see that.
It's just gotten better.
And I mean, to give everybody some fun facts here, the only reason Final Fantasy VII was on the PlayStation instead of the N64, like I don't know if anybody remembers, but all the original Final Fantasies, Squaresoft had actually put on before they became Square Enix, they were Squaresoft and they bought Enix, but they were Squaresoft, and Squaresoft used to put all of their JRPGs on Nintendo consoles and cartridges. The only reason that it was not on the Nintendo 64 was because the fact that it would have been like 7 cartridges. So they put it on 3 CDs on the PS1. It was much easier that way, and CDs were a lot cheaper than cartridges were. just to give you some fun facts there. Adam, actually, speaking of fun facts, why don't you read these fine people some fun facts about the PS1?
There's a fun fact indeed. In the pre-PlayStation era, most consoles came with flat joypads. I'm not even going to try. Tiu Gato, the creator of the iconic PlayStation controller, however, felt like the controller's 3D design matched the 3D graphics of the game. Many of the Sony's higher-ups hated the concept, but Goto had the Sony president, Niro Ogara, probably murdering your name, sorry, on side, who coincidentally was a pilot and in turn liked the device because it reminded him of an airplane's controls. Goto said that the iconic symbols, the circle, the triangle, the X, and the square, all have a meaning. The triangle refers to viewpoint, one's head or direction, and made it green. The square refers to a piece of paper representing menus or documents and made it pink. The O and the X represent yes and no decision making, and I made them red and blue. People thought that the colors were mixed up, and I had to reinforce to management that that's what I wanted. So in Japan, a red X means yes, and a blue circle means no, which is really backwards for us.
Yes, here in the States. Yeah. Just to give everybody a heads up, the X button is not the X button; it's the cross. By the way, it is the cross button.
It's always going to be the X button.
It's always going to be the X button, but they have came out and said it's the cross. So I have something. Well, I've been talking a while. Before I talk about this, John, you want to say anything about the PS1? You want to talk about a little bit about it, or you just want me to head into this and we'll just talk about it?
Yeah, just head in and we'll talk as we go.
All right. So the list of best-selling PlayStation video games I have pulled up here on Wikipedia, and I want to read off a couple of them. So we got Gran Turismo with 10.85 million shipped. Final Fantasy VII 9.72 million. Gran Turismo 2 9.97 million. Final Fantasy VIII 7.8 million, 8.6 million. Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped 7.13 million. Regular Crash Bandicoot 6.82 million. Metal Gear Solid 6.03 million. Final Fantasy IX 5.30 million approximately. Tomb Raider 2 5.24 million. And Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back 5.17 million. Tomb Raider The Last Revelation 5 million. Resident Evil 2 4.96 million. Spyro the Dragon, this number kind of crazes me because I thought it was a lot higher than that. 4.832 million. It's crazy. So just to go off of that, guys, you heard some big names in there. Back in the day, I'm sure you guys remember, PlayStation always did their whole mascot type thing, right? Well, everybody has mascots, but PlayStation had some big ones. They had Crash, they had Spyro. What were some ones back in the PS1 era that they had? Crash, Spyro. That was probably honestly it. Maybe
those are like the biggest two.
Rayman started there too, so maybe Rayman, because Rayman was a PlayStation exclusive for a long time. I can't think of anything else.
Resident Evil and Silent Hill, did they?
I don't know if they're really mascots.
There, but they let her expand it. Well, they weren't mascots. I'm sorry.
I think no, you're right. Resident Evil started on PlayStation. But I'm
Raw Rapper.
Yeah, Parappa the Rapper. Yeah, I played that the other day, and that game is still fun as shit. Yeah, man, it's crazy because you think about exclusives and stuff back in the day about what they had. I mean, Crash was exclusive, and now you look at what Crash does with like Xbox. It's on Xbox, it's on PC, it's everywhere. It's on Switch, it's everywhere now. Spyro, same thing. Yeah, it's pretty awesome, man. It's
So, do you know the official PlayStation 1 mascot?
Official PlayStation 1 mascot. Hold on.
Crash Bandicoot?
No.
Nope.
It's not Spyro either. Without looking it up.
It is a Japan exclusive.
It is a Japan exclusive?
Mm-hmm. Is the official mascot.
That makes sense, and it's probably... Fuck. Hold on. Don't tell me. It's probably a JRPG character. Oh man, I'm trying to think of some JRPGs from over there. I don't think it's Cloud.
Nope.
Because Cloud was here, obviously, so that's not that.
It's not anything you're gonna think of.
Okay, what is it?
It is a little white cat from the game Doku Domo Isho.
Oh,
and his name is Toro. And if you look him up, you will recognize the stupid cat.
Let me look that up. Original
Toro
PlayStation mascot.
I think they switch out mascots though.
Well, I mean they would have had to because
there's this what I'm reading is saying is they've never had an official mascot.
No, they haven't.
They switch shit around over and over.
Yeah, because I mean, Crash was the one to like rival.
Right.
Well, I mean, you think
Mario.
about back in those days. Think about like Nintendo had Mario. Nintendo had Mario, had Zelda, right? Nintendo had Mario, Zelda, Yoshi, those type of mascots, right? Sega had Sonic, right? Sega had Sonic, and then of course PlayStation had to me what I always remember was Crash and Spyro. Those were the two I remember. And then when Xbox came around, Master Chief was theirs. So everybody always has console or kind of like mascots. And then the PlayStation, I'm not sure if you guys remember PlayStation's mascot changed when Little Big Planet started coming out. Sackboy started being their mascot. So it's really funny because now you look at PlayStation and they don't really have a mascot. They have like Aloy, they have Kratos, they have now I guess
would say Kratos is kind of the mascot right now.
You could say technically Sam Porter Bridges from Death Stranding could be one at some point. That type of thing. So
this here's showing Polygon Man, like who's I'm not sure.
You don't remember Polygon Man?
I do, but he looks familiar.
He was in all like the TV ads like before the console launched, talking about games and stuff.
You don't remember? You don't remember?
A lot of good memories for me.
So you don't remember Polygon Man?
I don't. It's because this is saying it's like he was the mascot for a while when they first launched the console, but I don't really remember it. Maybe if I watched like the trailer, I'd get a better look at it. But this view I'm seeing now, I don't remember shit.
Yep, he was the boss in PlayStation's All-Star Battle Royale.
Yeah. Because that was one of the original mascots.
You know what? I'm just looking at this clip now. I'm like, yeah, I remember him now. Like this actual battle fight. Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny. It's funny when you think about these type things, right? Like, and we talk about. So let's sit here and talk about most iconic games of the Sony PlayStation, right? So what I mean by iconic, we're gonna go. Just think about like 5 games, right? Of your games when you think about the PlayStation 1, what are 5 games you think about? John, go ahead. Say one, and we'll talk about it a little bit.
Metal Gear.
Metal Gear Solid. Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think it's a very niche product because for some reason I feel like only a certain few people know about it, but it did sell 6 million copies. So I mean that is something that I agree with you on. I'm gonna throw one out there, of course. Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII started a whole new thing it was the first 32-bit RPG to where it was like, oh my god, this looks amazing. And that's why it is so loved today, besides being just a great game. Yeah, so Final Fantasy VII for me is one of them. Adam?
Would have to be Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
You really think about Harry Potter when you think about PlayStation because that was on everything else? Or I think you probably think about that because that's probably one of the only games you played on there, right? At the time.
It was one of my games I had, and I played so much of it.
Yeah.
And then when I got my PlayStation Classic and put games on it, that was the first game Courtney asked me to put on it for her.
Yeah.
So,
a game's not bad. I mean, those games were fun. I mean, I have them now on the Xbox, on my original Xbox, because now my original Xbox is modded, and I have them on there, and they're still just as fun. I can tell you that I've been playing a lot of Quidditch. I've been playing a lot of the Quidditch game that was on there. And that Quidditch game, nobody don't want these problems. I will give you these hands in Quidditch. I love that game.
Courtney has handed me the controller to beat Quidditch a couple of times.
Well, I'm not talking about in that game. They actually made an actual Quidditch.
Yeah, the Harry Potter Quidditch game.
The Harry Potter Quidditch game. Yeah, I mean, I haven't played Quidditch inside of that one, but. So John, give us another one.
Final Fantasy VIII is mine when I usually think about it because that's my favorite Final Fantasy game. But wait a minute. Well, was that? Yeah, that was PS1. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was PS1. You're right.
Sometimes I think it's on PS2.
No, no. 7, 8 is. You're right.
Yeah, I've talked a few times about like that's one of my favorite Final Fantasy games. I just love the story.
See, I've always liked 7 and then yeah, I mean, you spend a lot of time in that game. 7 and 9 were my two favorites. 8 was I'm probably gonna get a bad rap for this. 8 was always, I don't want to say a trash fire to me, but it was something that I would just pick up, put down, pick up, put down, pick up, put down, pick up, put down, pick up, put down. Kind of like what people say they do with 7. They've started 7 multiple times but never finished it. That was kind of me with 8. I started 8 multiple times and never finished it.
They got me with that gunblade, and that's that's
the gunblade is a very cool weapon.
Yeah.
The other one,
stories underlying it, like I just liked it.
I don't think I never finished 8. I think I can think 8 to this day is one of that I never finished.
It's such a divisive game because most people they either freaking hate it or
you love it. Yeah. I mean, to see it get a remaster was pretty cool. The other one I would think about is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. The reasoning of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is because of Pizza Hut demo discs. Pizza Hut demo discs were a thing back in the day where you would go to Pizza Hut, you would get this demo disc if you spend enough money, or you could just buy it from them, and you would get these games on there. There was things like Super Monkey Ball. There was things like I think there was a Metal Gear Solid demo on there. There was also Tony Hawk's Pro Skater on there, and I don't think me and my cousin ever owned the actual Tony Hawk Pro Skater game. I think we just played that demo. And it was so fun. I mean,
you play that first round in that
the warehouse
or whatever it is.
The airbase is in 2. Airbase
yeah, that's right. Airbase is in 2. That's the second one in 2.
That's when you grind on that's when you grind on the helicopter, which that's also on PS1. When you grind on the helicopter and then the helicopter takes off. I forgot that happened the other day. That Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 was actually the first game I put on my PS Classic. Besides Adam put Dino Crisis and Dino Crisis 2 on there. I went to play it and I grinded on the helicopter. I was like, oh, what the fuck is this? And then the helicopter taking off. I was like, oh shit, I forgot that did that.
Dude, Pro Skater 2 was the first game I ever 100%ed. Like, period. Got all the achievements, got everything, and I did it multiple times just because, you get those little skate clips and you get all that other extra crap.
Yeah, what was it? I was trying to say something. Talk real quick. I'm getting a weird text.
So my next game would have to be Tekken 3.
I can see that.
My brother and I played so much of Tekken 3. It was, even to this day, like I took a PlayStation Classic over to my dad because I had it modded with some games that he wanted for, and plugged it in, and he and I played Tekken 3, and the little brother syndrome will always be real, and I still cannot beat him.
I've always been shit at fighting games, and like my friends would go play Tekken 3 and kick my motherfucking ass. And what are you gonna do? You do the same thing your brother does, Yep. Just doing that. All right, whatever.
Yep. He beats me, and then I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I would go away, and then there you go. Come back later, and still sad.
Try again, son.
Yep.
Yeah, dude.
Tekken 3 was a big one. Tekken 3 was a big one because of the I mean Tekken 2 was actually a big one, but Tekken 3 I think was the one wherever you think about Tekken back in the day, that was Tekken, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Silent Hill and Resident Evil, I feel like you can kind of throw in those two together. That's one, because that's kind of where it got to start.
For sure.
Yeah. I just threw Resident Evil in there just because,
I don't think I ever played the original Resident Evil. I know I played Silent Hill.
Original Resident Evil is rough to go back to because of the tank controls. I'm not gonna lie, Dino Crisis has been rough to go back to because of the tank controls. Actually, when we do a let's play, we're going to do a let's play of those because you can do some of those, and you can do some of them in 6 hours. I think Resident Evil you could beat in 4 or 5 hours if you really wanted to. But those that's a hard one. Resident Evil, I think, is a big game on there. But if I was to think about a game on there, Resident Evil 2 would be the one. That if I was thinking about a Resident Evil, would be Resident Evil 2 on there.
Okay.
Yeah. Resident Evil 2 would be a big one, like, because it started the series, but 2 did what 2 was doing a lot of the same stuff that 1 did, but better. In my own opinion.
Like 1 was scary and fun, but the controls were a lot better, and people generally love Silent Hill 2 more.
Yeah, like Silent Hill. I never played Silent Hill the originals. I started on the original Xbox, whatever one came out for the original Xbox, or maybe it was 360. And yeah, another big one on there was Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider was a very big game on PlayStation, and I just never got into the old Tomb Raiders. The old Tomb Raiders were horrible to me, at least, but a lot of people loved them.
The only reason I wanted to get into them is because of them free titties that they said they were having, and they did not.
those nice pointy titties, titties that she had. Yeah,
that supposed cheat code went around for a hot minute of how to get her to expose her toplessness.
And the bad part about it is it's funny because you aren't going to do nothing but see every kid in the world trying to see some pointy ass pixel titties. That's everybody.
Some straight 70s looking coned out banana titties.
I'm straight going to call this. I'm straight going to call this episode pointy ass pixel titty.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. That's
I got to write these down because I definitely forgot that episode name of the first one I already said.
Pointy ass pixel titties.
If anybody remembers the episode I said for the last one, please let me know because I don't know. I don't remember. Let me type it. Yeah. So, I mean, iconic games when you're thinking about them, right? So you had Tony Hawk's, you had Crash. Of course, we talked about Crash. Crash 3 would probably be the one because Crash 3 Warped was probably the better one, in my own opinion. Oh, yeah. Spyro 3 wasn't that great. Spyro 1 or Spyro 2? I can't remember which was the better.
Spyro for me because I hopped
Spyro
right back
for
into
me
that,
too, I think.
And I just went straight. I knew where everything was. The controls were natural. Like,
I'm thinking. Oh, let me tell you another one that you might forget about. Twisted Metal. Twisted Metal for me.
Yeah. That's iconic.
Twisted Metal. Vigilante 8 was another one of those car shooters. That was also back in the day of them making really good wrestling games. You know, WWF, what was it? They had SmackDown 2. You had Attitude. WrestleMania was on the 64, I believe.
Not Raw. Raw wasn't around then. Was it?
No, Raw. Well, Raw. I think Raw was around then, but it was Attitude. I think Raw was Attitude. Yeah, right. And then you had
Raw came out on N64.
Right.
Yeah.
What was the other one that was on there? Because I just downloaded a bunch the other day. And then you had let me see.
Attitude, In Your House, SmackDown, Warzone.
Warzone. That's what I was thinking about. Warzone was the one I was thinking. That had Stone Cold on the front. Stone Cold was a beast. Him doing the belt. You also had WCW Nitro on there and things like that. Nitro was a big one, man. That was a fun process. Some of the Need for Speeds, like Most Wanted, was on there back in the day. You know, let me see. Let me add something else. Let me throw something else at you. Siphon Filter, Medal of Honor. That
was gonna be my next one.
Siphon Filter is so good. Medal of Honor, man. I mean, I can still remember this. Picture this, Little Michael. The year is 2001.
Wow.
The year is 2001.
I'm gonna close my eyes for this.
Thank you. You should. The year is 2001. I get home with my report card. I already have great grades.
How old were you?
I am 11 years old at this point.
Okay, 11-year-old bearded Michael. Got it.
I do not have a beard at this point. I look like a child. My mother.
Nope, that's not how I'm imagining it, though.
Okay, that's fine. My mother is a teacher and can find out my grades ahead of time of me bringing home the report card. And she would always do this in case I decided to throw away my report card because I had bad grades. So I get home. I walk in the door. My mother and my father are there. They are very excited to see me. I am very excited to see them, to let them know that my grades are wonderful. My mother is holding behind her back, her hands, and says, "Pick a hand and I'll give you what's in this hand." I say, "Okay, Mom. So which hand do I choose?" I remember choosing the right hand. So I choose the right hand. This was 2000, not 2001. I am 10 years old. I apologize to you, Jonathan. I lied. This is 2000, not 2001.
Messing up my whole vision
class. So keep going with the vision. It's 2000, not 2001.
All right,
I'm 10 years old.
Okay, good.
So slightly less beard. Okay. I come in. I pick my mom's right hand. What does she have? None other than Madden 2001. With Eddie George on the cover. I am so excited for this game. My mom said, for the PlayStation 1, which that game was also a launch game on the PS2 at that time. My mom says, "You know what I have in my left hand?" It's like, "No, but I'm probably not going to get it, whatever it is, because I just fucked up and chose this," which I'm still happy with. But what is this? My mom has, bear with me. Are you ready for this?
Ready.
I want you to picture it. Picture it in your mind. Close your eyes. Picture it in your mind. the original album Hot Shot by only the one and only Shaggy, and gives me this album.
What a terrible album to give to a 10-year-old.
I love that album. It had it, man. It had it. It wasn't me on it. Had Angel. Girl, you're my angel. You're my darling. Man, I can tell you how many times I played that album while I was playing Madden 01 on my PlayStation, dude. I had such a blast, dude. I love that game. I love that game. I love that album.
We should make karaoke videos.
No, we shouldn't. That was horrible.
Yes, we
that was
should.
horrible.
No, it's gonna be awesome, and it's gonna be awful, but it's gonna be awesome.
Right. So just imagine that's 20 years ago at this point, right? Like that's, dude. So then that was the time, right? Because that was when It Wasn't Me was coming out, which was Shaggy's song, and you think about things that happened in 2000, right? So just to give you a heads up, so thinking about that 20 years ago, big events that happened.
Well, I was in 8th grade.
I was 10 years old, so I probably would have been in like 5th or 6th, probably. All right, so things that happened, historical events that happened in 2000, right? Well, I don't want. Hold on, that's going day by day. I don't want that. Just give me like 15 things. There we go. So remember, Y2K did not happen.
It didn't? No, that was my freshman year in high school. All right, cool.
Yeah, Y2K did not happen.
Are you sure?
No, I don't think it did. It was the start. It was the start of the millennium. I'm looking at this website here, which is this is mynbc5.com. 15 things. So you got "Breathe" by Faith Hill is the top of the charts, his most popular song. The St. Louis Rams defeat the Tennessee Titans in the Super Bowl. The New York Yankees defeat the New York Mets in 5 games in the 2000 World Series. The U.S. population tops 282 million. I wonder what that is today.
A lot higher.
I believe so. I don't. Let me see. Not that one. Al-Qaeda-linked terrorists used more than 400 pounds of explosives to bomb the USS Cole off the coast of Yemen, killing 17 American sailors and injuring 39 more. I rise in.
Cut you off real quick. Current population is 327.2 million.
So we've went up
2018.
So we've went up 40 million. A rise in mad cow disease causes an alarm in 10 European countries. Let's see.
Mad cow disease.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus, that takes me back, son.
Oh God, mad cow. This is also the year. I'm not sure if you guys remember. Elian Gonzalez is taken by federal authorities. We're probably talking about shit that Adam doesn't even begin to remember. Let's see.
A little Cuban kid that got extracted from Miami.
Yes. AOL buys Time Warner for $165 million. Let's see. Gladiator was released, which is one of Russell Crowe's best movies. And then of course Oprah launches her the magazine. That's when Oprah was starting to rise. So think about then, man. That is back then, bro. That is those years of being. So think about the years of the PlayStation. Obviously, that is back then, right? And think about the things we were getting. We were getting these lovely video games, dude. I love talking about these old retro things. Just thinking about places you were, like I don't even remember buying my first PlayStation. I believe my grandmother got it for me from I don't even think we bought it brand new. I think my grandmother bought it for me in at a flea market, and brought it home. Hi, honey. Oh, I'm in trouble, obviously. But bought it for me at a flea market, and that's how I got it. So yeah, it's quite lovely, man. So it's pretty exciting. I just remember being there and coming home from school, being able to play the PlayStation. Yeah.
I loved going over to my friends. Like my friends had it, but I loved going over to my friend's house and them showing me some new shit that they got. Oh, hey, check this out. Oh, fuck, I wish I had a PlayStation, but I got a Nintendo 64. Let's go play that.
Well, I mean, and they both had their ups, like we'll talk about it when we do an N64 episode. But Ocarina of Time was not on the PlayStation, but it was on 64, and you could play that, and that game was so fun, There was some fun games that were on PlayStation that was not on 64, and it's like Spyro and like Crash and Because like we talk about, that was their poster child at that point, for video game series. Yeah, man. So now we're actually doing a lot better than I thought we would on time, guys. We're pretty much coming to the end of this whole thing. Let's talk about your favorite game from the PlayStation. So go ahead and let's go ahead and go with your favorite game from the PS1 era. Adam, what is your favorite game from the PS1 era?
My favorite game from the PS1 era would probably have to be Crash, the original Crash Bandicoot.
Just original Crash Bandicoot.
Yep.
Great game. Wonderful game.
Loaded that on my classic, and I have the Insane Trilogy on my Switch. I'd rather play it on my classic just to have the nostalgia.
Yeah.
And that first Ooga Booga, it hit me right in the feels.
Say it again.
Ooga Booga.
There you go. Attaboy.
I loved it.
John, what about you, my friend?
I don't know, man. Like Final Fantasy VIII was one of my favorites. I guess I
didn't say one of yours. What is your favorite?
But how do you pick?
It's very simple. You just choose.
His favorite was Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey '98.
It certainly wasn't fucking that.
No, what is it? Go ahead, John.
No, I'm trying to remember. Hold on a second.
Monopoly.
What? Monopoly?
Yeah, Monopoly was your favorite. SpongeBob SquarePants, Sure Sponge.
You know what? I just figured it out. Lunar Silver Star Story was my favorite.
Okay. It makes sense.
That was PlayStation.
It was
1.
it was originally like as Genesis and all that, but yeah, that was pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That I do like Lunar Silver Star Story. It's a really good JRPG. I do love those games.
I still think it has one of the best stories of
I agree.
RPG of all time. Almost.
I agree. Mine is obviously I don't have to talk about Final Fantasy VII. I mean, it's I've talked about it too much now at this point. I can't wait for the remake. I'm so excited about it. Game I forgot to talk about, Jet Moto. Jet Moto was a game I forgot to talk about. Do you guys know what Jet Moto is? Please tell me you do.
I do.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, John. Of course it doesn't, you young bastard. So Jet Moto was basically like a hover spacecraft type motorcycle racing game. That was a blast. Dude, I loved Jet Moto. Me and my dad used to play it all the time. My dad was really into racing, so we used to race on these type of games. NFL Blitz came out then. We played NFL Blitz a lot. Those were just fun. Those were just fun aspects, man. I love these games.
One of my favorites that we forgot was Thrasher Skate or Die. Did you ever play that?
Yeah, I played Skate or Die.
Dude, man, I thought that was... Tony Hawk had his own thing, but
Tony
Thrasher was Tony Hawk. You know what? That's what we're gonna call it from now on. Is Tony Hawk.
Well, that's what you would say if you were up in Boston. Is
up in Boston, Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk. Nah, but Thrasher was. Now, tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that was a lot more realistic. Like it was hard as fuck to do a kickflip. It was hard as fuck to do a grab unless you got enough speed. It wasn't like you could do a 900 really super fucking easy like you could do in Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Right.
That gave a nice challenge to it, and I really enjoyed that part.
Right. All right. Well, gentlemen, you guys got anything else to say about a PS1?
No.
All right, guys.
It's a great game, and it'll probably go down in history as my second favorite.
Second favorite console? I could agree. It's up there in mine. It's up there in my top 3 as well. So guys, we're gonna try and do these a lot more. That way we can have kind of give you some information about it. Kind of gives you a little backstory on us and our gaming lives as well. These will be released on, of course, weeks we were not here or things of that nature. And we'll make sure to let you guys know about it. So guys, just in conclusion, you can find us anywhere on any audio podcast service, and you can also find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at ADHD Gamer Podcast. All right, guys. Well, Jonathan, thank you very much. Adam, thank you very much. We will not be here next week, guys. Remember, but we will be releasing this for you. Gentlemen, you guys want to say anything to the people before they go?
See you later, ADHD gamers.
Have a good one.
May the force be with you.
Always.
Oh, am I supposed to talk?
Oh my God.
Oh, I'm kidding. I have spoken.
Thank you. That's all I need.
This is the way.
Thank you. That's it. Okay. All right. See you guys later.